If you're looking to utilize your VA loan in 2024, this video entirely will cover all your bases. What's up, guys? My name is McKeown. I'm a licensed real estate agent and investor both in the Dallas-Fort Worth market of Texas, as well as the Orlando, Florida market as well. On top of that, I am also a Marine Corps veteran, and I've utilized my VA loan twice in the past, once in 2017, as well as once in 2019. With that, I've been able to actually sell both of those properties and upgrade both to two separate commercial properties. So with a little background on VA loans myself, as well as helping countless individual veterans as well, I'm gonna be breaking everything down for you if you're looking to purchase in 2024 with your VA loan. But before I jump in all things VA loan related, if you don't mind hitting that like button and making sure to subscribe for future content, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, the first thing I'm gonna discuss is VA loan limits. And the reason why I'm discussing this first is because there's been a recent change in the last couple years. And to be honest with you, it was kind of quietly changed where not necessarily all veterans or people that are entitled to their VA loan necessarily understand. So when I talk about VA loan limits, we used to have a limit on what you could actually use as far as your 0% down. Well, lo and behold, that is essentially gone, kind of, which I'm gonna explain to you guys here in just a second. But if you're looking to use your VA loan and you don't have another VA loan currently out, you don't have a loan limit. Meaning if you wanna go buy $1 million property, you wanna go buy a $5 million property, and you wanna put 0% down, as long as you qualify based on the debt to income ratio, you can get that entire loan. Again, there is no limit whatsoever. Now, where the difficulty lies is if you do have another VA loan out. For instance, if you have another VA loan out and you're wanting to keep it, maybe keeping it as a rental property or a secondary property because you're relocating to another state, that's when things get a little bit more difficult, because then, again, if you have multiple VA loans out or you're looking to take a second VA loan out, you're back to having a loan limit. And when I talk about loan limit, I'm actually talking about eligibility. So this is going to differ based on state and based on location. It's gonna confine to the single family loan limits. So roughly in 2024, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you're looking in the mid 700s. So let's say, I'll give you an example. You purchased a property for $500,000, you used your VA loan entirely and put 0% down. That means you used $500,000 of your eligibility. Now in 2024, you're looking to purchase another $500,000 property. Well, now combined, that is $1 million in loans taken out with two separate VA loans, and your limit is only in the mid 700s. So yes, you've gone about $250,000 over, and any overage that you wind up taking out on that second VA loan, you're gonna have to put 20% down. So obviously this can create a lot of problems, especially if you're 3 weeks into a contract and then being told you basically have to come up with $50,000 or maybe $100,000 for a down payment. Then you got to go back to the drawing board and actually sell your previous home that may potentially be rented out. It can cause a big disaster. So using your VA loan for the first time, as long as you qualify for it and you're comfortable with the mortgage, always good. But again, if you have one or multiple VA loans out and you're wanting to keep them and purchase another one, bear in mind that you have to conform to the loan limits. Now, obviously that's going to be your biggest dilemma, especially if you're an individual that has already a VA loan out and you're trying to keep it. But let's move forward to the next topic, which is going to be disability. Now, disability comes into play when you're utilizing your VA loan because you have a VA funding fee. Now, the VA funding fee may not even matter to you if you have any percentage of disability. It is completely waived as long as you have 10% disability. Now, on top of that, if you don't have disability, this is a part that you may want to pay attention to. If you're utilizing your VA loan for the very first time, you're going to be charged a 2.15% funding fee. So on $100,000, it's going to be about $2,150. Now, obviously, if you have $200,000, you're going to double that. If you wind up taking $1 million loan out, you can see where the funding fee can get exceptionally expensive. Now, also on top of that, if you're utilizing your VA loan for the second, third, fourth, or fifth, and so on and so forth, you're actually going to have a funding fee percentage or cost that is 3.3% rather than 2.15%. Now, when all is said and done, those are closing costs that you're going to be required to bring to the table if you don't have any percentage of disability. But that is something that your real estate agent agent can negotiate for you on behalf of the seller to cover. Because again, if you're trying to utilize your VA loan and get in the door with as little money down as possible, your real estate agent should be negotiating as much seller concessions or seller credits for you in order to get you in that door as cheap as possible. To be honest with you, I actually just had a closing yesterday where they got money back at closing. Now, I will make a side comment. If you're looking to utilize your VA loan in 2024 and you don't have a preferred lender or don't have a good connection with a local agent that understands VA loans, just hit me up on my Instagram, shoot me an email. All of my contact information or scheduling an appointment with me will be in the description below. Now, along with that, I also highly suggest that you work with a mortgage broker. There's nothing wrong with working with a bank, but it's the same way that a lot of us reach out to insurance brokers. Insurance brokers have multiple different insurance companies that they are going to essentially shop your, driving record against and potentially get you the cheapest option or best option when it comes to car insurance. The same thing can be said with a mortgage officer, a mortgage broker. At the end of the day, it's just to get you your best rate possible. Now, since I'm mentioning interest rates, we're all aware that in 2023, interest rates have skyrocketed. Now, fortunately enough, it's the end of 2023 and we've seen a slight decline over the last couple weeks in interest rates, which is obviously great news for potential buyers moving into 2024. But VA loans in general are going to be the best loan out there, and more than likely, comparatively to an FHA loan, but more than likely, probably the best interest rate of any loan that you can get. Now, the good news is looking forward to 2024, the Fed is likely to cut interest rates. How much, we don't really know, but any kind of decrease in rates right now certainly will allow individuals to qualify for more or open up the opportunity to be able to purchase, which they may not have been able to the second half of 2022 or all of 2023. So let's talk about the additional benefits of utilizing your VA loan. Obviously, I just got done talking about disability and being able to waive the funding fee entirely. Obviously, that can save you a ton of money if you have any percentage of disability. But to be honest with you, the best thing when it comes to the VA loan is 0% down, but not necessarily just the fact that you can put 0% down. It's the fact that you can put 0% down and not have to pay any PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. If you're a regular US citizen and not a veteran, you're likely going to have to put 3 or 5% down on a conventional loan. And to be honest with you, a lot of people put 20% down. And the main reason for that is to be able to eliminate the cost of private mortgage insurance. Now, to continue on with additional benefits of utilizing your VA loan, you may have subscribed to my channel because I've made a ton of videos and actually done it myself. But the beauty of utilizing your VA loan for a duplex, triplex, and quad is a huge way to start your real estate investment portfolio. Now, again, going back to the regular civilians, they have a couple options, a 3.5% down FHA loan. The downside, as I just discussed with private mortgage insurance, is you have private mortgage insurance for the entirety of that FHA loan. So really the only way to be able to get rid of that private mortgage insurance is you refinance once you've moved out and you've built enough equity to basically offset now what is a 25% down requirement in order to refinance to a conventional investment loan. And just to be honest with you, that takes a substantial amount of time, a substantial amount of debt pay down, or you've got to force a lot of appreciation or equity into the multifamily. The other option has actually opened up recently where now, depending on your zip code and depending on your income limits, so there are some, qualifications to be able to fulfill this obligation, but there is now a 5% down conventional loan. That is still 5% down more than what you would put utilizing your VA loan on a duplex, triplex, or quad. Now, my goal back in 2017, when I made my first investment purchase with my VA loan, which was a duplex, my goal was to get in the door as cheap as possible because as a teacher, I was really only pulling in about $3,700 a month in total net income. So yes, utilizing your VA loan for a multifamily could be a great jumpstart to your real estate portfolio, but it gets even better than that. We're talking about the VA IRRRL, or VA interest rate reduction loan. That is going to be the easiest and fastest and probably most simplest way that you can do a streamlined refinance. So what exactly am I talking about when I mention a VA IRRRL? Let's give my particular situation because I actually utilized it a few times back in 2017 to 2020. I purchased a duplex in 2017, utilized it as an owner-occupied duplex, lived in one side and rented out the other. But within 5 or 6 months, I had moved to a single family. Now, I was no longer living in that property and it was a full-time investment property. And then about 2 years later, I went and then purchased another property with my VA loan that was a fourplex and occupied that unit again. And then fast forward one more year, I actually wound up building my permanent residence, which I still reside in today. But that gave me 2 multifamilies, a quadplex and a duplex that I was no longer living in and just utilized as a full-time investment property. But the beauty of a VA IRRRL, or again, interest rate reduction loan, is it allows you to streamline refinance as if you're actually occupying the property yourself. If you're not aware of this, if you look to refinance a property that was at one point an owner-occupied property, and then you go to refinance it and maybe do a cash out refi, which side comment here, you can't do with a VA loan. But if you look to do a cash out refi or just be able to refinance maybe out of an FHA loan, you're unfortunately going to have a higher interest rate because now it's an investment property and not an owner occupied property. But again, going back to the VA IRRRL, you can streamline refinance really any given moment on any of those 2 particular properties that I was giving you an example of. I was able to refinance multiple times on one and refinance another on the other, even though I wasn't even living in the property, and I was still able to get that incredible low interest rate as if I was occupying it versus it being an investment property. But I know I got off on a little tangent about investing and utilizing your VA loan. Wholeheartedly, if you want to utilize your VA loan just for a primary purchase for you and your family, it still, bar none, is going to be the best loan out there for you to use. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any questions leading into 2024, or if this is now 2024 on anything VA loan related, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below, or again, reach out to me privately. I would love to help or assist in any kind of way. But again, guys, I appreciate the support. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.